Hi everyone, and welcome back to my How to Do Nonograms video series. Today I'll be talking you through strategy number 3. If you've printed out my PDF file and are completing these on paper at home, you need the paper labeled strategy number 3, and we will start with the nonogram that is titled strategy 3-1. Now strategy number 3, for lack of a better name, I just call it the dots and the process of elimination strategy, because when you put the dots in, remember you put dots in boxes that you know should not be filled in. When you put the dots in, it eliminates possibilities. It tells you these boxes won't be filled in, and it allows you to use the process of elimination to fill in the correct boxes. So, let's take a look at this. We got a 5x5 nonogram, and right away you'll notice we have 3 5 clues. I always try to use strategy number 1 first if I can. And so we know every box in this row is going to be filled in. We know every box in this column is going to be filled in, and this row. So right there we made a lot of progress here. Now I usually go row by row first. You could start with columns. I just do rows first. Let's look at the second row here. We know we need 1 box filled in, and that's done. So we're going to put dots in these boxes. Now this row, okay, we're not quite sure what to do here. We need 3 boxes filled in, and we have no idea. It could be any 3 of these 5. It could be this one, this one, and this one, these 3, or these 3 on the far right. We don't know yet. So we're going to skip it, and we're going to come back to it. Let's go to the next row. We have 1 box that needs to be filled in. That's done. So put dots in these boxes. Last row is finished. We've really just got to figure out this row. Now we're going to use the dots and process of elimination to figure this out. But look at this column. This column needs 3 single boxes filled in. So because we know this box and this box will not be filled in, we know this one is. Same thing for this column. We know that box is. And we know these 2 boxes will not, because they need 2 single boxes in this column, and that's done. You need 2 single boxes in this column, and that's done. And our nonogram is finished. So if we hadn't been able to use the dots in the process of elimination, I'm not sure quite how we would have solved this puzzle. Let's go ahead and do another puzzle to continue to see how we can use dots in the process of elimination to finish nonograms. If you're filling these out at home, be sure you have the nonogram labeled strategy 3-2. If you would like to fill these out at home, check out my Gumroad shop where you can download a file that has all 27 nonograms used in this video series. And if you'd be interested in a nonogram book for beginners, you might check out my book. It's on Amazon. I have the link in the description. So let's take a look at this nonogram. First of all, you should notice it's not 5x5. This is the largest nonogram we've done so far. It's 7x7. And you know I like to start with the strategy number 1, the 100% strategy if I can. But you should notice right away there are no 7s, not any large numbers at all, but we do have a 0. And this is going to be a huge help in completing this nonogram. If it wasn't for this 0, this puzzle would be very difficult to solve. But we have a 0, so put dots in every single box in that row. Let's see what else we can do. We're looking to use dots and the process of elimination, which is strategy number 3 to solve this. Now, if we start with the rows, 2 and a 1, I have no idea where these will be, because we have 7 boxes and we only have 3 boxes that will be filled in. So several of these are going to be empty. We don't know which one. Can't do anything here. The next line, next row, 1 and a 2, it's the same thing. I don't know what to do here. This is a little better because now we're filling in 5 boxes, but still I have no idea which boxes to fill in. 2 and 3, no idea. 1 and 3. Guys, if we're using the rows, I have no idea what to fill in. So let's move to the columns. So if we look at the first column, what do we have? We have 2, 1, and 1. And at first glance, you're thinking, man, I have no idea. You could put the 2 there, the 2 there, the 1 there, the 1 there. But actually, this dot helps us out tremendously. Look at this column. Can you see where the ones have to go? There's only one place. Okay, let's look at this. We have to fill in 4 boxes. So obviously, some of the filled in boxes have to be up here on the top half. Some have to be on the bottom half, because you can't fit all 4 down here. We only have 3. The top number clue has to be topmost in the puzzle. So we can figure out the 2 has to be up here. There's not room for the 2 and the 1 and the other one to be down here. So we know the 2 is going to be up here, which means if it was these 2 boxes, this box would have to be empty, right? If it was these 2 boxes, this box is already empty. So either way, if it's these 2 boxes or if it's these 2 boxes, these ones both have to be in the bottom half. Okay? Now, if they both are down here, we only have 3 boxes and there must be an empty box in between each box. So there's only one way to do it. This box has to be filled in. This box would not be filled in. That's our empty one. And that leaves the last box to be the last number 1 clue. There's no other way to do it. So dots and the process of elimination helped out a lot there. Let's see if we can do anything else with the columns. We need 3 in a row filled in, but I don't know which one. It could be these 3 or it could be these 3. We don't know yet. Same thing for the second column, same thing for the third column. 2 in a row, I don't know. Could be top half or bottom half. 1 and 2. So for this one, it's similar to this process of elimination. We know the 1 has to be on the top half. And if the 1 was here, this would have to be empty, which would mean we don't have enough room for the 2 to be up here also. So we know the 1 is going to be in the top half. The only problem is we don't know which of these 3 boxes it's going to be. And we know the 2 is going to be down here, but again, we don't know, is it these 2 or is it these 2? We don't know. So process of elimination doesn't help us a whole bunch there. But let's go to our last column. It's kind of the opposite of this one. This was 2, 1, and 1. This one is 1, 1, and 2. But we can use the same process of elimination along with this dot to know both 1s will be up here, right? You don't have room for the 1s and the 2 to all be up here. And just like we did here, we know this one is going to have to be here because we need a space in between our 2 single boxes. So the only way to do that is to fill that one in, this one is empty, this one is filled in, which means our 2 boxes for the last are going to be here. We don't know which ones yet. Now, at first glance, it's looking like, well, okay, we figured out 4 boxes to fill in, but we got tons of boxes left. What are we going to do? So let's go back to the beginning. I'm going to go down here with these rows because they're farthest on the left. Now we can use our edge strategy. Remember our edge strategy? That's strategy number 2. If you have a box filled in along the edge and the number clue is more than 1, you can fill in some boxes. So this clue is a 2. This box is already filled in, which means this box has to be filled in because you need 2 in a row filled in. So that one's filled in, that one is not, and we have to have an empty one between these 2 sets of filled in boxes. So that one's empty. So we're going to go down to our bottom row. We need 2 in a row. That box is filled in. Using the edge strategy, we know this box has to be filled in. And this row is done. We only need 2 filled in, and that's done. So put a dot in all of these boxes. And as you might guess, we're probably going to use the same logic up here with these rows. Let's see. We only needed 1 filled in. We did that for the second clue, that is. That one is not filled in. Okay. Still don't know which of these will be the 2 filled in for that clue. This one. We can use the edge strategy again. The last number clue in this row is a 2. That box is filled in, which means this box has to be filled in as well. So we get 2 in a row, which means this box is not filled in. So we figured out a bit more. Now let's go back to our columns. Can we figure out anything from our columns now? We still don't know which 2 will be filled in here. We need 3 in a row. And take a look, guys, right here. We have this one filled in and this one filled in. If we have these 2 boxes filled in, we need 3 in a row. The only way to do that is to fill that one in, which means this column is done. That's good. Look at the next column. We need 3 in a row. These 2 boxes will not be filled in, which means this is our only set of 3 boxes in a row to fill in, right? So 2, 3, which means this one is not filled in. Making some progress. Similar thing here. Look at this column. Which 3 are we going to fill in? Look at it. We only have 3 boxes in a row right here. There's only 2 down here in a row, so that's not going to work. It has to go here. 2, 3, which means these 2 are not filled in. See, we're using our dots to help us use the process of elimination to figure out what boxes we're filling in. All right, this column, we need 2 in a row. We could do these 2 or these 2. Okay, we can't figure anything out on this column yet because we don't know which 2 it's going to be. Let's look at this column. We need 1 and then 2. Here's 1. So both of these boxes have to be empty. Let's do that. That only leaves these 2 to be filled in, so click that and that. That column is done. This column needs 2 single boxes. That is finished. And then we need 2 boxes filled in a row. We only have one place to do that, right here. That column is done. We're almost done with this nonogram. We just have a few boxes left we're not sure about. Let's go back to the left side of the puzzle. This row needs 2 and then 1. Here's 2, here's 1, and we also know there's only 1 here that could be filled in, and we need 2 filled in first. So that one is eliminated, and before and after the set of 2, we need empty boxes, so there we go, that row's done. This row, we need 1 and then 2. We need empty boxes on either side of the 2, so that's empty, which leaves us with only one choice. There's that box filled in. And then this row needs 1, 2, and 2. There's the 2 sets of 2, which leaves us with this box. Okay, and then we have these 2 boxes left we weren't sure about. And there's lots of ways we can look at this, but look at this column. We need 2 in a row. Those are the only 2 we can fill in. So there we go. And this is kind of a weird nonogram. I don't even know what this is, but just an example to use strategy number 3, where you use dots and the process of elimination to solve a nonogram. If it weren't for the dots, I don't know how you would have solved this. Let's go ahead and do a couple more nonograms where we can use strategy number 3. This nonogram is labeled practice number 5 if you're doing this at home. So we're back to a 5x5 nonogram. Right away, this number 5 should leap out at you. We can use strategy number 1 to fill in all 5 boxes. And then we can use strategy number 2, the edge strategy, to fill in these 3 boxes, because there's the 3, and this is the only way you can go. You can't go to the left. So these would not be filled in. And oh, look at that. Another way we can use strategy number 1, 100% of this column will not be filled in. So go ahead and put dots there. Now if we go back to the rows, here's another 3. Strategy number 2 again, the edge strategy. That one is done. And we have another 3. And that one is not filled in. And now we have a couple rows with possibilities for boxes to be filled in. Now we got to use the dots in the process of elimination to figure out how. So if we look at this row, we see one box should be filled in, which means this one is not. It's going to be the same thing on this row, right? So let's go ahead and do that. But we don't know which one of these yet. You know what? I'm looking at this column right here. I see we need 2 single boxes filled in. That's what we've got in this column. These are the only options in this column to fill in. 1 box here, 1 box here. So let's do that. That column's done. We've only got these 2 boxes to figure out. And we can look at this column to see we need 3 single boxes filled in. 1, 2, 3. That's done. That was a quick one, but using the dots and the process of elimination made this one pretty easy to solve. Let's do one more. This one is practice number 6 nonogram. Let's see how we can use strategy number 3 this time. But first we start with strategy 1. There's a 5, so we know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see, what can we do here? If we start with the rows, we know we only need 1 in this column. So we've already done it. Let's get rid of these boxes, put dots in those boxes. We only need 1 in this row. There it is. Those boxes should not be filled in. Now we need 2 single boxes, and of course we don't know where they should be, but we do know this box and this box will not be filled in, as you always need an empty one on either side of a number clues boxes. It could be this one or this one. Let's move on. Number 3, it could be any of these. Don't know which ones yet. Let's look at the columns one by one now. We need 1, and then we need 2 filled in. That one is done. These are empty. You should have dots in them. And we only have 2 boxes left. So by process of elimination, the only possible way to finish this column is to fill in those boxes. That column is done. This column needs 2 single boxes. There's 1. There's the only other one it could be. There we go. And then look at that, guys. There's our 3. 1, 2, 3. So we get rid of these boxes. And this row has 2 single boxes. It's done, which means we can go ahead and put a dot in this box. And this nonogram is finished. Letter J. Those 4 nonograms that we did in this video, they're pretty simple. I know that. You might even be thinking, man, these are so easy. If you're thinking that, well, that's great. That means you're getting this. As we go farther and farther into this video series, they get more challenging, more complex. In the next video, we'll talk about strategy number 4, which is extremely useful. Thanks again for watching, everybody. If you learned anything or found this interesting, give it a thumbs up, and I would love for you to subscribe so you get every video. Thanks again.